Okay folks, the next project up on the bench here is a Sansui 5000A receiver. It's in for basic service. No huge complaints. Kind of a funny story. The guy that dropped it off said it's been in for service 2 or 3 times throughout its life. One point, I guess a technician put a different power switch in the front. I don't understand. That's not an uncommon power switch or a hard switch to find. So I'll look at that when I get it open. Also, we got a pretty funky cord and cord in and whatnot. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get this thing opened up. I'll get it blown out and I'll start having a look around. I'll be back in the next part of the video. Okay, so I'm back on the Sansui 5000A. I just got this thing opened up. As expected, it's pretty dirty inside. And I was kind of trying to look around. I did quickly, at least on the bottom. I did a cursory inspection, looking to see if I see anything that's funky that's been done by the previous techs that have been in here. I haven't seen anything that's jumped right out at me, but I'm going to get it blown out. I'll give it an alcohol bath. We'll let it dry out, and we'll just start doing some testing and whatnot. We'll see what we got. I think he did say there were some bulbs out, and it's kind of scratchy. Like I said, it doesn't need all the pot. Switches are going to get cleaned. Probably a solder reflowed, light bulbs changed, that sort of thing. But anyway, let me get this thing cleaned up, and I'll be back. Okay, folks, I'm back on the Sansui 5000A that came in. Got it broken down, got the faceplate off, got it blown out, giving it an alcohol bath, working on cleaning all the pots and the switches. I'm a little concerned. The push button switches in this are very, very mushy. There's really not much snap to them. They're very, very dirty, and I'm not feeling the detent like I want to feel. I'm going to keep working them and I'm going to keep cleaning them, but I think this may end up being a problem spot on this one. We'll just have to see how it goes. But I also cut the power cord off. The power cord was just nasty. It's got some end on it that somebody, with screw terminals that somebody put on there that they bought from the hardware store. It looked like hell. It was all gooey. So I cut that off. I'm going to wire a new cord into it. Once I do that, then I'll get it fired off. I'll bring it up on the Variac and start, seeing what's going on. But before I do that, I've got to still check fuses and different things like that. But we'll be getting to all that here soon. So I'll be back in the next part of the video. Okay, folks, I'm back on the Sansui 5000A I'm working on here. Got the new power cord put in. Let's see, where are we at? I'm getting lost here. Okay, over here. Got that taken care of. Power cord was shit. Just had the tone board out here. Getting ready to put it back in. I've flushed all the pots and got them all loosened up and working really good now. So I'm getting ready to put the front end back together. And once I get that done, I'm going to go ahead and power this thing up and see what I get. So I'll be back at that point. Okay, folks, I'm back on the Sansui 5000A I've been working on. Putting light bulbs in this morning. I'm out of bulbs. I got to order some more bulbs. But anyway, we got some signs of life now. We got some lights happening. You can see. So she's coming to life slowly but surely. So I went ahead and put the bottom back on, and like I said, I've had the front faceplate off. I've had the front tone controls out. Completely flushed out the pots and the switches and everything in the front. It's had an alcohol bath. All the fuses have been checked. Match pairs have been put in. Done a full inspection. Replaced the power cord. I still haven't even gotten around to checking the BIOS or the DC offset, but we do have sound. Everything's working. Got left, right. Everything's working the way it's supposed to. So everything's looking good. I've got the case currently soaking in Orange Glo oil to bring the case back to life. So as soon as I can order a few more bulbs to finish this thing up, we'll be done. So. I'll probably go ahead and post at least the first part of the video for this with what footage I have now, and then I'll post a follow-up video once I get the other bulbs installed in this thing and it's got the case back on it. That way you guys can see what it finally looked like when it was done. But anyway, like I said, she's alive, she's functioning, sounds awesome, everything's looking great. So I'll be back on the finished up part of the video. Okay, so a little update on the Sansui 5000A. I had a conversation with the owner, told him I had to order the balance of the bulbs I needed to finish doing the relamp. And during the conversation, we talked about this power switch and that it would be nice to go ahead and put the proper power switch in it. And so after getting off the phone with him, I went ahead and pulled the bottom cover back off and went ahead and pulled this power switch out to see a little bit more what was actually done and see if I have any switches I can retrofit or just what. And so this is what I pull out. Absolute botchery. Botchery, folks. I mean, it just boggles the mind. So these dumbasses, whoever did this, decided to ream a big ass hole in the front of the chassis to do this bullshit. So I'm gonna undo this and I'm gonna put something a hell of a lot better in here than this. So this is just an addendum to the last video. I was gonna wait to do another video on this until I had the bulbs and I was getting this thing wrapped up. But like I said, when the owner dropped it off, he was aware of the whole power switch thing. He told me it had been done and yada, yada, yada. And he wasn't that concerned about it. It functioned. He was more concerned about getting all the other service work on the amp done. But it kind of a funny story. The guy has a buddy, and the buddy's got a Pioneer setup, I guess. And I guess it's in need of service or whatnot. But so anyway, these two guys are kind of going back and forth. And I guess the more that they talk to one another and the more that they talk to me, the two of them are just getting more and more excited. And so when I called him about the bulbs and whatnot, like I said, we had a conversation about the power switch. And he said, well, you know, he says, if you can get the right switch in there, he says, go ahead and find it when you order the bulbs and go ahead and replace the switch. So I said, all right, I'll do that. And so, like I said, when I got off the phone with him, I thought, I'll go ahead and pull the bottom plate back off, pull the switch out. Because like I had already put the bottom cover on. I was done with the bottom of this. So, but I'm glad I did. I'm glad I pulled that out and had a closer look because, yeah, this isn't safe. Whoever done this should never call themselves a technician. Not ever, 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 ever. It makes us real techs look bad. And that's just crap. I run into this kind of stuff all of the time. And I just scratch my head. It's like, if you don't know what you're doing, just don't do it. Don't go in there and do a bunch of half-ass bullshit. I mean, what is wrong with people? So anyway, enough of a rant about that. I'll shoot another video once I get a switch in here, and like I said, once I button this up and get the rest of the bulbs in. But I'm gonna go ahead and upload this now because, like I said, I just found this comical when I pulled this out. So anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. Okay, folks, it is Memorial Day weekend. I had some parts come in yesterday, and today is Sunday. So I just wanted to do this power switch on this Sansui 5000A. So I was just kind of sitting here getting this all ready to put it in. I thought I would shoot a quick video and you can see the comparison between what the last tech did with this crappy power switch that he put in there and this power switch, which is correct. As you can see, both legs were individually soldered, individually shrink wrapped, and then the whole outer parting of all that had a sleeve put over it and shrink wrapped around that as well over the body of the switch and both legs. So this is a lot better, this is acceptable, and this is the way it should have been done in the first place. So I'm going to upload this video, and then I'll do the final video when this thing is finally all done, but I just wanted to pipe back in really quick on this and make a quick posting and just make a comparison. This is how it should have been done, folks. Anyway, I'll get off here for now. I'll do the final video when I get this thing all wrapped up. I'd had bulbs come in and I got the power switch. So I'm probably gonna, I think I still have to track down a dial pointer bulb yet, but we're getting there. This thing will be done up here shortly. So anyway, I'm off. Okay, I'm back on the Sansui 5000A. We're retrofitting a different power switch in this. The previous people, I'm not even going to use the T word. They don't deserve it. So anyway, the hack job people that have been in here before reamed out the factory hole in the front chassis of this thing. And so the switch that I ordered doesn't have quite a long enough collar to be able to go all the way through the chassis and all the way through the front faceplate. So I just mounted the switch to the faceplate itself, and I'm going to just run the wires through the hole. Okay, but I installed a grommet there because it wasn't a good drilled hole. It was pretty rough. I mean, I probably could have filed it up and blah, 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 blah. Still would have needed a grommet anyway. So I just went ahead and stuck a grommet in there. That more safety, I got to run the wires through there. So I just wanted to pop back in and show you guys what's going on. I've already fitted this. This is going to be nice when it's done. Let me turn this over. And there's the power switch. So, and it works nice. And it looks a hell of a lot better than the last one that was in there. So anyway, I'll be back. Okay, so that's it. The new power switch is installed. Get everything wired back up, loomed back up. Coming back here. Make all of our power connections back here. Right in here. So everything is all nice, tidy, and good to go. And there's our little power switch. Right there. Alright, I'm going to get the bottom back on this thing and flip it upside down. Okay folks, I'm back on the Sansui 5000A. Got all the bulbs replaced except for the dial pointer bulb. I have that one on order and it won't be here for a few days yet. So it's done, but it's not done. Yeah, all the bulbs are changed except for that one. Those are all working. You can see input selector bulbs are all working, meter bulbs are working. All good to go. Turned out pretty nice. I've got to put the wood case back on when the pointer bulb comes in, and then I'll shoot one final video for this. Alright, the Sansui 5000A is finally done. Had the dial pointer bulbs I needed come in today, got that installed, got this thing buttoned back up. I'll go ahead and fire it up with our nifty power switch. And check that out. Fully illuminated dial finally. Got all the bulbs in this thing finally changed. 11 bulbs inside this thing. And a lot of them not easy to get to. So, but yeah, she's done. Turned out nice. I think the client's going to be really happy with this. So I'm going to go ahead and add this to the rest of the service video to make one complete video on this whole thing. She turned out nice, like I said. Sansui 5000A, we did a lot of work on this thing. It was in pretty bad shape when it came in, but it's a lot better now. So like I said, I think the client's going to be really happy with this. So I've already called and left a message for him that it's done, it's ready to pick up. And like I said, I'll get the final video on this completed and uploaded here soon. Catch you guys later.